Good morning, everyone. My name is Agnieszka Piasecka and I am an immigration attorney from the United States. I am meeting with you today at this seminar in London to talk about American immigration law, specifically about Fiance visa. I have been receiving a lot of questions and requests from all over the United States, from United States citizens who are interested in the fiance visa process. They have been asking me how does the process work and does it apply to the United Kingdom citizens. So I decided to host a seminar here in London because I know that a lot of people are thinking about coming to the US as fiancés of US citizens. Before we start talking about the fiance visa process, I would like to quickly first introduce myself. My name is Agnieszka Piasecka and I am an immigration attorney in the US. Although my principal office is located in Florida, I practice immigration law in the entire United States. So it doesn't matter where you are in the United States, I can help you. Also, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Like, for example, you may be located in London and or in the United Kingdom, and I can help you as well if you are thinking about immigrating to the United States. I am an immigrant myself. I personally experienced in the immigration process. I moved to the United States in 2007. I obtained a green card and then US citizenship. I was previously a lawyer in Poland, and then when I transferred to the United States, I went to law school in the United States as well, and I became a lawyer in the United States. I've been practicing altogether, combined all my years since I became a lawyer in Poland. It's been over 20 years now. And in the United States, I took and passed the bar exam in 2013. Now let's move to the fiance visa process. So first, I would like to tell you a little bit about the time frame and what needs to be done. You must be a US citizen in order to apply for someone to come to the United States to the United States as your fiancé. So that's the first requirement. The second requirement is that you must be eligible to get married, and your fiancé as well. So if you were married before, all the prior marriages must be terminated. You both must be single and eligible to get married. You both must have intent to get married, and that must happen within 90 days from the time your fiancé crosses the US border, comes to America. You start the process by filing a form with the United States Department of Homeland and Security, USCIS. There is a form, there is an application that needs to be first filed with all accompanying documents, and that form needs to be first processed in order to proceed with your application for a K-1 visa. The fiancé visa is called K-1 visa. So, in order to qualify for a fiancé visa, you must be a US citizen, your fiancé must be eligible to marry you, you both must be willing to get married within 90 days from your fiancé's entry to the United States. The marriage must be bona fide, which means it has to be in good faith. So you both must be willing to get married for in good faith not for the immigration purposes, so not for green card, not for papers. That's considered immigration fraud, and that would be a denial. The intended marriage must be real. Another requirement, generally for great majority, most of people, there is this strict requirement that you must both meet in person within 2 years prior to filing for the K1 visa. So there must be at least one in-person meeting, and you will have to prove that you met in person at least one time before filing. There are certain exceptions to this rule, but they're very narrow, and basically they're related to your fiance's religion requirements, or maybe it would cause you, US citizen, it could cause you extreme hardship that you would have to prove, and then maybe you could qualify for the exception of that one in-person meeting. Otherwise, you must meet in person and must be able to prove that. So once you make sure that you meet all these requirements, you can start the process. Like I mentioned, the process starts with filing an immigration form and application to the USCIS, the US Department of Homeland Security, and they process your petition. That petition usually takes, based on my experience, a minimum of several months. A lot of people wait longer, so they may actually have to wait about a year for their fiancé visa to be processed, but usually within several months you should hear something. And the USCIS reviews the petition. If they accept it, they issue you an acceptance decision, and they forward your case. At this time, they forward your case to the National Visa Center, and the rest is processed online by the National Visa Center until your case is ready to be sent to the embassy. So the NVC creates a case for you and your fiancé to access online, and you can enter your online application with those credentials that they will send you. Usually they send it by email, and over there are some fees that need to be paid and forms that need to be completed. They're going to be asking in those forms, they're going to be asking for a lot of detailed information about your fiancé and yourself. So make sure that you have prepared all that biographic data. So for example, for all of you who are prospective fiancés, you need to present, like for example, history of your addresses for the last 10 years, history of your employment, your education, your family information, and that information must be as detailed as possible with exact dates, addresses. So that form, you will be filling it out online. Once it's submitted, there will be some other documents that you have to upload. There is a list of documents that are required to accompany your petition, and usually the best strategy would be to either get yourself well informed or consult an immigration attorney, because the documents may vary depending on your individual situation. There are certain documents that are always required, but some of them may be specific to your case. What's interesting to know, you may also apply for your minor child. So if you have a minor child that you would like to bring with you, being a prospective fiancé, you can do that as long as your child is not married. As long as your child is not married, they can immigrate with you. They have to be under 21 years old. you must include them in the petition. And then they can travel together with you, or even at a later time. They cannot travel before you. Once your NVC case is completed, NVC is National Visa Center, so the online forms submitted, completed, all the accompanying documents uploaded, the National Visa Center takes their time to review your documents and your application. Based on my experience, they act quickly. They don't take too long to review your documents. Recently, we are now in 2024, in August, so I can speak to current times. Recently, it's been taking about 1 to 2 weeks for them to already issue some kind of response. So they will either approve your documents and your application and tell you that everything is fine and they're sending your case to the embassy, or they will ask you to supplement something. They usually will indicate what's missing and they'll ask you to upload it. Important thing to know about submitting those applications to the immigration authorities: you must be honest. It's extremely important that you gather all your information accurately and that you don't lie in your petition. Even a small lie that normally would not matter, if you lie, you will be denied based on fraud, and that may make you inadmissible to the United States for the future. So definitely be honest, disclose all the required information. The marriage must be the planned marriage, intended marriage must be in good faith. That's imperative. And you can proceed. Once your case is forwarded to the embassy now takes their time to schedule you for the interview and send you all the requirements, like for example medical exam that must be completed before your interview. So they're going to contact you and let you know when is your time. The interview usually is scheduled close by the closest embassy to where you live, your fiance live. So at that time, the best strategy is to gather. You have to have a passport, obviously, so you need to apply for your passport in advance, so you have a valid passport that is valid for minimum 6 months from the time of entry. So get your passport ready and get all your documents in place so you can take them with you to the embassy for the interview, just in case if they ask. So that would also include the documents that you previously submitted to the USCIS and to NVC. You would take them again with you, the originals, in case the consul asks for them. And also feel free to bring some new documents that you were able to gather in the meantime, because they may be useful if they try to check if your relationship is real. They will be asking you questions regarding your relationship, and based on that, based on the information you submitted in your application, if you are eligible for immigration benefits and for entry to the United States, your petition is going to be admitted or denied. If they find something that makes you inadmissible, or if they determine that your relationship is not in good faith, that there's a risk that the relationship is for sole purpose of immigration benefit. Important thing to know is that this process does not grant you an immigration status. That's just for you to legally enter the US and be able to get married within 90 days and apply for the adjustment of status then. So only if you get married to your fiancé, then you can apply for a green card. you must be willing and able to marry within 90 days from the entry to the United States. Usually, once your K1 visa is granted, they give you a stamp in your passport with a date up to 6 months. Within that time, you must enter the United States, and from that time, you have 90 days to get married. If you're intending to get married somewhere else, not in the United States, or if you're already married, you do not qualify for fiancé visa. So a fiancé gets a visa which is called K1 if you're bringing a minor child with you, under 21, unmarried. That's K2 visa, so they can also get their visa. The child must remain unmarried for the entire process until they apply for a green card. If you apply for your green card after you got married in the United States, that's the entire new process. It may add several more months or even up to sometimes a year for the fiancé to finally get the green card. Each case is different, but an average case would take an additional several months for all the paperwork to be processed. If you miss your 90-day period to get married, then you lose your status. You're no longer legally in the United States and you must leave. So that's important for the fiancés to remember. If for some reason the marriage doesn't work out, they must leave within 90 days. They cannot exceed the 90 days period, because once you exceed 90 days, then you become illegal, and that may bar you from being able to return to the United States, depending how long you overstayed your legal status. You may be barred for 3 years or 10 years from coming back to the United States. If you don't get married within 90 days, let's say you missed the deadline, however, you're still willing to get married with your original fiancé who brought you to the United States, you can do it. You can still get married after 90 days and you can still apply for your green card. However, it's going to be a different process at this time. You'll have to file some additional forms and it's going to cost you more. While you are in the United States on your fiancé visa, I get a lot of questions. Can I work? So yes, you can work during the 90-day period. However, you should apply for you should file a form for that, which they're going to issue you evidence of work permit. So that's important. So without that form, I would not recommend working because you don't have any proof of status. However, if you file that form, that's a special immigration form for that, they're going to issue you evidence of work authorization, and with that document you can work. That's valid only for 90 days. Another option is to file for adjustment of status, and with the adjustment of status, which is the green card application, you can also file for work permit, and that work permit that gets issued for 1 year while your green card is being processed. In order to file for a green card, obviously you have to first get married. So I have a lot of questions from potential applicants, petitioners, asking what is the advantage of filing for fiancé visa? Why do that? Wouldn't it be easier to just get married right away and file for your spouse? So that depends, depends on many factors. Definitely, you can skip the fiancé visa process and just get married and bring your spouse to the United States already with a green card. That would save you some time and fees. So you can definitely do it. However, sometimes you don't know the person enough, to make this decision. So that's why there is this process which gives you 90 days to actually live together in the United States and see how it goes, So that's probably this option, this 90-day option, is best for people who don't know each other that well and who would like to first live together for some time and see how the marriage potential relationship is going to work between them. They will have 90 days to get to know each other really well. That is especially valid for people who meet online. I have a lot of clients who have literally met with each other in person only once to fulfill the immigration requirement, but they don't really know each other. The entire knowledge is based on the emails and Skype. So for that, it's better to apply for Fiance visa. That may save you some problems, future problems and costs if you were to divorce. For other people who already know each other really well, they know that they're going to get married and they are able to get married out of the United States, because we're talking about possibly getting married in the country of fiance or another country. They can also get married in the US, obviously. They can just get married and then apply for a green card. And I apologize, my nose is I'm fighting a cold, so I apologize if I'm speaking with a stuffed nose, but I'm just like having some sinus issues today. So if you decide to coming back to my discussion about getting married, skipping the fiancé visa process, you can do that. You can get married and apply for a green card for your spouse. The wait time is similar, maybe shorter, but it may be similar. So basically, I would say be prepared for 1 year. If your application gets processed sooner than that, then it would be great, consider yourself lucky. Some cases do get processed faster, but an average case would take a minimum of several months or about a year or even more. Coming back to the fiancé visa situation. So the most common situation when I see fiancé visa being applied for would be one, the situation I just described. So people don't know each other that much and they want to first try it out, see how it goes. Another common case scenario is for applicants who are otherwise not eligible to come to the United States. They would either have to apply for a green card or they would be denied, So for a fiancé visa or a green card is the only option for them. Otherwise, they won't be admitted. Those are usually people who were denied a tourist visa and do not qualify for waiver for ESTA. So I see a lot of those applicants applying for a 90-day fiancé visa because otherwise they wouldn't be able to travel to the United States to see their fiancé, and for one reason or another they're not yet ready to get married, so they would come here on a fiancé visa. So to sum it up, fiancé visa is a good option for people who want to get to know each other better and for people who want to first try it out and see how the relationship would play out. You can include your minor child in the application, and once you are in the United States, you must get married within 90 days and then you can proceed to filing for your green card. I know you guys have a lot of questions, and I am prepared here to answer all your questions individually after we finish this seminar. I can quickly address some questions that you have. If you initially, before we started this seminar, I put down the list over there in the corner. There is a list which you can write your questions down, and I can address them from that list. So if you have something now that you would like me to address, please feel free to write your question on that list, and then I'll ask my moderator to pass me the list, and then I will address those questions at this seminar. Otherwise, I'm going to stay here for another hour or so to make sure that I answer all your questions individually about fiancé visa. Okay, so please take your time, put down your questions, and whenever ready, I'm going to get the list and see if there are any questions. Thank you. Do we have any questions out there? Yes. Okay. Yes. So I'm going to take that from you. Thank you. Okay, so we have here a question. Can I come to the United States on a fiancé visa and then marry someone else? So you mean not the actual person who brought you here, correct? No, unfortunately. So here you cannot come on a fiancé visa with one applicant and then get married to another person and adjust your status. The fiancé visa is strictly for you to come and marry that person, the person who filed for you. So yes, otherwise you would have to leave the United States within 90 days, and then you can reapply. If you find someone else, you can reapply for fiancé visa or a green card with that person, but you cannot come in here or a fiancé visa with one person and then go ahead, marry someone else and file for green card. That would be trouble. Another question. Do I have to be a US citizen in order to apply for a fiancé visa for my fiancé? Yes, you have to be a US citizen. So that option for a fiancé visa, that's available for US citizens. I'm looking if we have any more questions here. Another question, what happens if I overstay and don't get married? So, like I said before, I briefly addressed that situation. So that depends, you should not overstay. If you determine that you're not going to get married, your best option is to leave within 90 days. That way you don't incur unlawful presence. However, if you overstay, if you do end up overstaying and you're still able to marry that person who brought you here or on a fiancé visa, you can still apply for adjustment of status for your green card. It's just a slightly different process However, you still have that option. So it's not the end of the world. But if you do overstay and not get married to your initial sponsor, the person who brought you here, then you're going to incur unlawful presence. And if you overstayed that 90-day period for more than a year, then you are banned for 10 years to come back to the United States. If you overstayed for less than a year, then you're barred for 3 years. Another question, which documents do I need to produce? So the documents that, like I said, that's depending on your situation. There may be some additional documents that specific people may have to produce, but generally what's always required would be each of you has to produce proof of your status, like your US citizen petitioner will have to produce proof that he or she is a US citizen. So either a US passport, certificate of naturalization, certificate of birth, US certificate of birth would do. You would have to produce your certificate of birth, your ID. If you were previously married, proof of termination of all your previous marriages. You will have to also generally produce a proof that you met in person at least once before applying. Within 2 years before applying, you need to meet at least once. And there will be some other documents, like for example, police clearance regarding your criminal history. Please be advised that criminal checks are run on both of you, not just the fiance, not just the prospective fiance, but also the person who's bringing, the US citizen who's bringing the fiance. They're also subject to criminal background checks. So the prospective fiance will have to obtain a document from their local authorities about their criminal history clearance, and the US citizen will be checked here in the US based on the information they provided. I don't see any other questions. I assume there may be some more questions that you would like to discuss with me in private. So please feel free to approach me in the end of this seminar. Please be advised that this seminar is being recorded, so you'll also be able to watch it online at a later time. I'm going to post it on my YouTube channel with this general information. And the second part, the individual questions that I'm going to address now, that's going to be confidential. So we're not going to be recording that part. You're very welcome to come approach me and discuss those questions with me individually. Once again, I would like to thank you very, very much for coming here and listening to me. I'm very pleased to meet with you, and I would be very happy to help you with your immigration process, whatever it is. I also handle other types of immigration applications. I can help you to immigrate to the United States based on family relationship, if you're already married, or based on other immediate family relationship, or based on fiance visa application. Feel free to contact me. If you're calling me from abroad, the best way to contact me is via WhatsApp. I have a WhatsApp number, my cell phone number, 813-786-3911. And the direction number to the United States, the area code to the United States is 001 or +1. So again, it's 813-786-3911. That number is also available on my website. My website is www.piaseccalaw.com. Feel free to visit my website. Feel free to get in touch with me via WhatsApp or via email. You can also email me. What else? Like I said, I experienced the immigration process myself, so I know what's involved, and I know both sides, how you feel when you are coming from another country, and what to expect. So please feel free to contact me. I also speak other languages. I speak fluently Polish, Italian, and I also speak Spanish. I have staff that speaks Russian if needed. So thank you so much for attending my seminar. I look forward to working with some of you, hopefully, and I hope to see you again. I will be traveling to other cities in Europe, so I may be recording some additional seminars. I will definitely keep you posted. Thank you very much and have a great day.